Hello, my friend. Welcome to Inch by Inch. My name is Tammy Leslie, a certified life coach specializing in life's toughest moments. And here we talk about moving through truth to solutions and creating hope. Today, I thought I'd talk about my personal journey with cancer and what hell looks like for me. So grab a drink and let's talk. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I do apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit hoarse. It's actually fall here in the part of the country I live in, even though my background says it's full summer. Um, so, if you've been here before, you know that I'm currently making my third walk through stage 4 endometrial cancer. I came out of remission last July, but I have been in treatment now for about 8 weeks. This time, I am blessed in that the mass was caught very early, and they are treating me with Keytruda and an oral chemo. Excuse me. This is much better on my body than traditional chemotherapy was in the past. And the best part, I won't lose my hair and look like Uncle Fester's little sister this time. Seriously, I am doing very well on this. I do have some fatigue issues, but you know what? If that's the worst I've got to deal with, I'm I'm glad. Yes, I am grateful. Well, you know what? Grateful isn't a big enough word to describe how I feel. I'm alive, and that is fucking miraculous. If you're on this road, then I know you know what that feels like. In past videos, I've talked about how to navigate hell. However, it's been mostly for situations where it's possible to get through to a new level on the other side. What about those of us navigating a life-altering medical condition and the future is no longer promised? In truth, no one's future is promised. We just all assume that it is. But when a catastrophic illness rears its ugly head, time becomes precious. How do we navigate this? How do we cope from one day to the next? I can't speak for everybody on this journey. Let's be honest. The best I've been able to do is try to find balance. Balance between taking care of my medical and health needs as well as my life needs, balance between growing a business as well as my social and family needs, balance between emotional good days and bad. Now, some things are delayed or some things just don't get done at all, but that's okay. I'm learning to prioritize. On this journey, my first act of balance was to take a hard look at the reality I was sitting in. It certainly wasn't rainbows and unicorns, that's for sure. It was scary because 3 months prior to my diagnosis, I had quit my job to finally pursue my big dream of getting my life coaching practice off the ground. And then cancer crops up again. I was pissed. Really, God? Is this your idea of a joke? I saw everything I dreamed of going up in the flames that were quickly closing in around me. I was terrified. Would I make it out on the other side this time? I couldn't even guess. It took a little time for me to get my head around this, and some days I still have problems with it. But eventually, I made an important decision. My mother always said, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. My decision was that I don't know how much time I have left, but I was going to act as if I had all the time I need. Then I made myself a promise that every day would be fulfilling in some way. That might look like a visit with my parents or going to Dairy Queen to get my favorite ice cream treat. Other days might be big, like finishing a script or recording a video. I've started journaling about this at the end of my day, and I frequently read through those entries to celebrate the progress I'm making. Another simple thing I do is keep an AMWAP list. That's AMWAP. That stands for as many wins as possible. This is just a list of everything I get done in a day, no matter how big or how small. I find it encouraging to see the progress was made somewhere in my day. Another act of balance for me is finding flow, setting up simple systems and routines in my day to get the most important things done when I have my best energy. What are those most important things? The things that generate North Star emotions. Those are my guiding emotions that point to fulfillment in my life. I also use my best energy times for things that will take a lot of physical energy, like going to the grocery store. Another way I create flow is habit stacking. For example, my morning routine is pretty set. I get up around 7:30-ish. That's not always the time I get up. I take my meds, and one of those medications is for my thyroid, and this requires that I avoid any food or drink for the first 30 minutes. So, because I can't go have coffee, I go grab a shower and tidy the bathroom. Then, yay, I get to make my coffee and I plan my day. After that, I go get dressed, I tidy the bedroom, I do my hair, and then I putter around. That's reading, eat breakfast, maybe make some phone calls if I need to, spend 5 minutes in each of the zones of my house. All that done at give or take 10 a.m. To be honest, sometimes 11. I start my workday. Am I disciplined about this every day? Oh, God, no. Some days I'm lucky to get up, get my meds, get my shower, and get my coffee. And not everything gets done the way I imagine it will. And that's okay. But it does provide structure so that my brain gets in the mood to work. And it does help me fight off depression. Hard truth. Not all days are good. In the last 6 days, I've had 4 doctor's appointments. Those are always stressful days, even though I try not to let it show. One of the appointments was an MRI on my brain. That was really stressful. My oncologist wanted this MRI, saying that although it is very rare for endometrial cancer to go to the brain, it can sometimes happen. And since this was my 3rd go round, we'd better check. Yeah, now tell me that wasn't a panic attack waiting to happen. And it was stressful because it was a reminder of just how serious this could get. It's one moment when you just want it to be over and done with. The test took about an hour and it came in 2 parts. Just a regular scan, and then something they called contrast would be injected into my veins, provide a different perspective on the imaging. So I'm in the tube, headphones on, and I'm trying to stay positive and be patient. Suddenly, I feel this liquid squirting all over my chest and face. And I'm going, yeah, am I broccoli in the produce aisle? What's going on? Well, come to find out, they didn't have the machine that administers the contrast hooked up to my port properly. And it was just squirting everywhere. It was all over the MRI machine. It was all over the floor. It was all over me. The poor techs, they were kind of young, kind of new at their job. They didn't know what to do. And they were so apologetic. They had never experienced anything like that before. And they were nice about it, but it was still just more than I could take. They did eventually get it all fixed, and a few minutes later I was done. I know it was such a small thing, but it still added to the stress of the day. And I still cried on the way home. But I guess that's the thing about living with something like this. You take the good with the bad. One minute you might be laughing, the next you're crying. But both are real and both belong. If there was one takeaway from this video, I'd like you to know is that balance isn't about holding it all together. It's about letting it all be true in the moment that it's true. It's about showing up and doing what you can. Find the flow that works for you. Some days I'm strong and some days I'm scared. But every day I am just grateful to be here for the ride. If you're watching this, I know you face the same things. How do you find balance? I do appreciate you stopping by. I hope you found encouragement in your own journey here today. And if you're okay with it, I'd like to pray for you. Blessed Jesus, the person watching this video is facing a life-altering illness. They are struggling to keep it all together, keep it balanced. Will you be with them in this time of need? Please surround them in your love and let Archangels Michael and Raphael bring peace and healing to them. In your precious name I pray. Amen. Thank you again for staying to the end of the video. Until next time, bye-bye.